Flowing in here. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, good morning, whichever. We might share up. Caitlin, I think we have one pre-submitted question today. Can you get that in the chat for me, please? Hey, everyone. You got Will here today. Let me get my stuff in order. Let me double check for the pre-submitted question. Where's that at?
I just put it in the chat for you.
Who's this from?
Leah Turner.
Okay, and Leah is here. Okay, Leah. Want to know the best way to pull in multiple JSONs and extract single data pieces from them. Example, during one request, 5 different JSON strings related to 5 different forms filled in by the requester need to be sent to decisions. We want to know the best way to pull important fields from them while ignoring or excluding most of the other information. Most of the forms do not contain the same fields or questions, and some of the questions are nested under others. So if there would be a way to flatten this data into a single data structure and pull the data points into it in a single step or flow, that'd be helpful rather than having to pull input from multiple data structures to make a decision. Okay, is the XML data that comes in like very, not the value, but the structure of it dynamic?
The structure of it is yes. It could be because there's some logic with some of the questions. We use form.io. I'm not sure if you're familiar. So there is some kind of conditional logic there in form.io and some questions. So we tried to do like create a data type by importing the JSON, and it was fine, but it created like
tons of data structures, right?
And then we tried deserializing it in decisions, but since you have to predefine that output, it's a little bit difficult to do that as well, since we have different questionnaires coming in, essentially.
And each one is a different type of data type, or a different structure of JSON or XML. What I would do is I would still use data types for this, but I would I'll show you 2 options. My first here would be to use a JSON deserialized step, and then assuming you have some idea, say there's 5 different types of JSON response we can get, right? What you could do is you can actually daisy chain these things together in a design like this, where you try a different type and only come down the path on the appropriate one. This is where my head would go, and then you can deal with it in the flow, where you might try, the most common type and then a less common type, so on and so forth.
There will be probably like 200 different questionnaires, which is kind of crazy. I just used 5 because that's probably a likely scenario, 5 of the different questionnaires coming in at once.
Okay. Now they all have you're just interested, they all have a same property called X or Y that you want to pull the value from?
No, the properties may be named differently. They're totally different questions for each questionnaire related to whatever the request is. So say I'm requesting a hospital bed for one, that'll have a different set of questions than oxygen machine or something like that.
Okay,
so be different.
Okay, so one option here is use get data pairs for JSON object. This gives you a data pair list out, which has the value of the property, the name of the property and its value in a data pair list. So you could get that, and then you could do something where this might not be super performant, but one thing you could do is build a flow that might look like this. It would be JSON string, and then you would have property name to find, right? And then here you have 2 options. You could use get value from JSON by name. This one would take in the JSON string and the property name and give you the string value out. That's probably the simplest one here. You also have get data pairs, which could allow you to do multiple checks if you needed to. One of these is probably the step you're going to be looking for here.
Okay.
This, you pass in like a JSON string and then the property name, and it'll give you the output value. This one will convert the whole JSON string into data pairs, and then you can loop through that list or collection filter on that list to find the stuff that you care most about.
Got it.
You
And
have,
now, yeah,
Oh.
so we'll probably be making decisions on maybe 3 questions for each, so.
And then if you do this, you could use this like a design like this in a subflow. Like, let's just use this step, right? So I'll map in my input mappings here, which is JSON string to JSON text and property name defined name. And then I'll go ahead and on my output step here I'll create an output because that name is not very good, which is found value or something. And I'll map out the value of that JSON step into found value, which is get value from JSON string output 1, right? And then I use this. This is flow 1. I'll edit this as find, pull single value from JSON. And then I'll create a flow here. And then I'm going to find my step, my flow, current folder. And here's pull single value. And now I can pass in the JSON string and the property name defined. So let me go find a simple JSON example. Okay, that is very simple. And let me minify it really quickly. Minify. JSON minify. Really? Married true. Well, what is that? JSON minify. There you go. So here's my JSON. And I'll put my JSON in my flow as a constant. And then let me look at that. What is the property? I'm going to find salary and married. So if I take this, do married, do this, paste it, and I do salary, I should get that back. Let me see, run, okay. Output of this is null. All right, let's see why. Case sensitive, maybe. View input data, name married. I didn't have any output data. Get value from JSON by name. Oh God, this is not working. Try this with a debug JSON string. This will be called. Oh, is it not handling? Maybe it's not handling nested types. Let's do this. Let's try that again. Married. Input output data. Okay, there it is. So it's not handling the nested. Okay, so that might be tricky for us.
Yeah, we tried this step and it, that's what we kind of ran into as well.
Get array from JSON by name.
We put
JSON to dynamic. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think we put I don't know, data dot married and that whatever. I don't remember our example, but I think we did it that way in the name step.
I thought there's JSON, get JSON path from value. Let's try this really quick. I wasn't thinking this was going to be tricky. JSON string, we'll say property name defined. Debug, do we have our full JSON string in here? Let me get this back to our previous JSON string. Okay, and then we'll save that and run. View input output data. JSON path is nothing. Let me try employee. Okay, neither one of these is handling nested types well. Data pairs. Get array from get data pairs for JSON object. This takes in a JSON text. Okay, this gives you employee with all of the data inside of employee. This could get really tricky. I mean, this might work, and then you'd have to use, you'd check to see if it was, you'd check the content of this string to see if it's actually a JSON string or a value. And if it's a JSON string, you'd do the same thing again till you could like recursively go through the whole JSON string. Something like that is probably what you'd have to do without us adding some new steps on your behalf, Leah.
Awesome, we'll try it. Thank you.
Oh, hold on. And Anonymous has got a good idea about using XPath. I forgot all about XPath. Yeah, you could use XPath. XPath is like a query language for XML that you can Google. So you might convert your JSON to XML and then use XPath. That actually is that's a really good good idea. Oh, yeah, I might look at using XPath as well. You can just search up like XPath, and it's like a query language to find stuff in an XML. This is probably your best bet now that the other user has mentioned this. Convert your JSON to XML, and then use XPath to find your property. And yeah, this is on W3 Schools. You can find XPath. There's like a format to let's see here. Like, so here's XML, and then they're using, where's the XPath? Children, okay, XPath syntax, here we go. And so here, this is the expressions you use: slash for root, double slash, node name, and you can build up like actual expressions to run XPath against your XML, and it'll navigate the XML for you and find what you're looking for. This is where I would go. This is where I would look next. This is a good idea.
We will, thank you.
Yeah. All right, Radley, what do you have for us, sir?
It will. So I have a repeater inside of a form. In that repeater, I have a active form flow that runs on startup. Or at least that's how I have it set. When I'm debugging it, I'm not able to see that flow is actually running.
In
Like
the left-hand view of the debugger?
Right, exactly. I think it is, but it's not returning the data. It's returning some of the data that I want, but I need to be able to troubleshoot it, and I'm just not sure if I'm doing something wrong or my expectation is off.
I would do something like write a log file in it and confirm if the log file shows up if it's not showing in the debugger for you.
Okay.
Use something like that to confirm if it's actually running or not for you.
Do you know of any behavior that active form flows in repeaters or ones that run on startup would not show?
No, there might just be some issue with the debugger that doesn't show that level of nesting relationship, I guess.
Okay.
I'm just guessing a bit here.
Sure. And I was thinking that as well, that there's something, because repeaters have caused me problems for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, if your question is should it show, then yes, it should show.
Okay. It should
Is
show.
it surprising to me that we don't capture it in every scenario? Not exactly, given like, that you might have, just given the sort of complexities of some of the forms. My thing I would say is like, use a log step. Just make sure you put it to warn. The thing people always forget when they use log steps is not setting the type level. Set this to warn so it actually gets caught. Run your flow again and see if you see your custom log that you're going to type in here. Then you'll know with certainty it's running. And then you can start trying to figure out what's causing it to not run if it's not doing what you're expecting.
Okay. Okay, I'll give that a shot.
Right, and all right, VT. I have a support ticket around the SDK, and I got a response that decisions can I get someone from dev on a call to look at custom code. My issue is not around custom code, but sorry. My issue is not around custom code, but step not showing in the right place. If you could, what's the ticket number there, VT? If I think we can, if you can send us 054413. Let me just see. Zero 54413. On looks like they replied after Vitaly. I don't see what's different here. I have changed, same result. I put my DLLs into OPT decisions, instances, control, custom references. Yeah, I'll have some, I'll have you send over your sample code to us. I don't know why it wouldn't be showing for you, off the top of my head, but we can have someone look at it. If you could send over, maybe you could send over your sample code and a copy of the database your container is running on that support ticket, and I'll get someone to look at it and figure out why it's not showing up where you expect it to. Is custom references the right spot for custom DLLs in containers? I'm not sure. It is, probably, it might be. Yeah, it wouldn't be bin. I thought it'd be core service DLLs somewhere. I'll get someone to follow back up on that ticket for you. I don't know off the top of my head where those are supposed to go though. What other questions do we have from anybody today? As always, you can ask a question in chat. You can use the raise hand feature and we'll unmute you, or you can use the Q&A, whichever is easiest for you. Yeah, oh, custom modules, local module, core service DLLs in the file mount. This is the path that one of my guys just gave me. I'll put this in the chat. I'm moving your custom step to that path. What else? Anybody else have any other questions? Yeah, I think you have to mount. So in the file mount. Yeah, it's for containers. Anybody else got any questions for us today? You need to, in your container setup, you'll need to have that location in the container file system mounted, like made persistent. Same way the file storage location would require that. Okay, getting close to 12:30. No other questions from anybody today? Let me give you a more full path. This path, but Vitali, OPT decisions, data, custom modules, local module, core service DLLs. Custom references should be where references to third-party libraries in your custom work get deposited. Okay, I think that's everything for today. Going once, going twice. Did I give you what you need, Vitali? I think you just need to put it in the proper spot and try bouncing it, the container, see if it comes back online in the right location. Okay. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a great afternoon, and tomorrow we've got Darren, and then Thursday we've got Cam. So I will be back next week. Appreciate the questions and the time. Have a great afternoon. See ya.
Thanks, Will. Have a good one.